and welcome to the biggest book haul I have ever done in my life. In the words of Jack Edwards, book shopping and book reading are two very different hobbies, and I'm absolutely maxed out on the book shopping side of my book loving hobby because I have over 20 books to show you guys, and that's literally like, it would take me months and months to read that many books. Well, I did read 11 books in October, so maybe it would only take me 2 months to read 20 books. Either way, it's a lot of books and I'm so excited to show you guys. Okay, I've got 2 Colleen Hoover books, and the only Colleen Hoover book I've ever read is November 9th, and I know people freaking love Colleen Hoover, and I need to catch up and read so many of her books. I really need to read her most popular books, Ugly Love and It Ends With Us, but I'm number like 106 on hold for those books at the library, so it might be like years before I get access to those books. So today I've got Maybe Someday and All Your Perfects. Maybe Someday got really high reviews on Goodreads, so I'm very excited to read this book. The guy in this book is a musician. It also says on the back that he's mysterious, whatever that means, but I'm here for it. And then the 2 main characters are also neighbors, which I feel like is going to be an interesting dynamic. And then I also read on Goodreads that it's a love triangle trope romance, which I'm not sure how to feel about. I've never read a love triangle trope before, and I'm kind of nervous because I think I might not love that trope, but again, I want to give it a shot. Oh, interesting. Okay, I didn't know a single thing about All Your Perfects before getting it, and it says that Quinn and Graham's perfect love is threatened by their imperfect marriage, and I kind of love that because every romance book ever is like the couple meeting for the first time and then getting together, and then once they're together the book just ends. So it sounds like this is going to be a book about a couple that's already been together and how their relationship is like very imperfect. I feel like I really just don't see that in romance books like ever. Okay, The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. If you have not heard of this book, then I hate to break it to you, but you live under a rock and you've probably never been on BookTube because this book is so popular, and I honestly can't believe I have never read it. Actually, that's a lie. I have low-key been avoiding this book. So it's Greek mythology romance, and I'm just not like a big fan of like Greek mythology books. And so I'm just a little skeptical that I'm gonna like this book, but this book is literally on so many people's 5-star reads. Like, I have to read it. And this book has 4.41 stars on Goodreads. I think that is the highest rated book I have like ever held in my hands. For reference, Harry Potter has 4.47 stars, so like this book is basically as good as Harry Potter in like the general public's mind. And I've never read a romance Greek mythology, so I have to give it a chance, and I will. Then I got Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid from the library. The only other Taylor Jenkins Reid book I've read is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and I did like that book. I'm pretty sure I gave it 4 stars, but I wasn't like obsessed with it like I have been with other romances, so I'm really intrigued to read another book by her. This is about 4 famous and very wealthy siblings that live in Malibu, and one of the siblings, Nina, is having this like big blowout, like crazy party. And I've heard from people who talked about this book that there are tons of juicy secrets that come out at this party, and a ton of juicy secrets that the different siblings in the family are hiding. I mean, wealthy people, Malibu, lots of secrets. I feel like I can't not like this book. Then I got The Fine Print by Lauren Asher, and this is the first land in the Dreamland Billionaires series. So another book about wealthy people. We got a theme going on. But this is about Rowan and Zara, and I don't know if he's the owner or like his family owns it or something, but either way, he's like the boss guy at Dreamland, and he hires Zara to work at Dreamland. He ends up texting her under a fake name. They don't have like a good relationship in real life, but like through text, like things are going great, but she doesn't know that it's him. And like, come on, billionaires, romance, and a theme park? That just gives me like romance at Disneyland with the CEO of Disneyland involved. Not Walt Disney though. Then I got It Happened One Summer by Miss Tessa Bailey, and I have not read a Tessa Bailey book before, but I feel like I've seen a ton of books by her. And this book is about Piper, and she is like Miss City Party girl, and when things get out of control, her dad sends her away, and that's where she meets Brendan, who's a sea captain. Like, okay. So they're polar opposites. I'm assuming this is a grumpy sunshine trope. So yeah, I feel like this is just gonna be like a really adorable, like fun romance to read. Then I got Throttled by Lauren Asher, which is the first book in the Dirty Air series. I've been getting so into series. If you can't tell, a few of these are gonna be series. And this is a Formula One romance series. I've never read anything like remotely about Formula One. I know nothing about it, so I feel like it's gonna be a super interesting world to dive into. And the book's about Maya and Noah is like the big Formula One legend. And Maya, her brother, is one of the teammates with Noah on his like Formula One team. I honestly didn't even know they had teams. And so it's not only a Formula One series, but it's also brothers best friends, or at least like brothers teammate. I don't know if they're besties. I don't know if I've read a brother's best friend trope, so I'm excited to do that. Then I got The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake, and I saw Haley Pham was reading this book and that she really liked it, so that's how I got the idea to get this book. This is not a romance. I may be one of the only-ish ones in this haul that's not a romance, but it is about this secret society called the Alexandrian Society, and they are super powerful, like super prestigious, fancy, wealthy society of magicians, and they invite 6 magicians to compete for 5 spots in their society every year. So one is going to be eliminated by the end of the year, and they're basically like going through initiation the whole year, so I'm assuming that it's gonna be crazy and they're gonna have to like fight for their life to get into the society. And it's dark academia, it's fantasy, it's magic, and I hope there's like some romance subplots in there. I'm really excited to get more into like fantasy and especially dark academia because very winter fall vibes that I'm getting from this book. In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. It is now after Christmas, but I'm still excited to read this book because I just don't want that Christmas warm, gooey feeling inside me to go away just yet. Okay, interesting. I also knew nothing about this book before getting it from the library either, but it kind of sounds like a cheesy Hallmark movie, and I don't know if that's gonna be a good or bad thing. It is a Christmas book, so like cheesy is okay. It says that she's experiencing the same holiday over and over again until she has to figure out how to break the cycle and get it right so she doesn't have to keep repeating the holiday, which is such a fun concept, but also I feel like it's been so overdone. Like there's like Groundhog Day, Happy Death Day, I don't know, there's just so many movies where you repeat the same day over and over, so I don't know. I'm a bit disappointed now that I know the plot, but I do really love Christina Lauren and I'm in a holiday mood, so I feel like this will still hopefully be good. Then I got The Bromance Book Club by Alyssa K. Adams, and I'm also really excited for this one because it sounds like it's going to be unique because it seems like it is from the guy's point of view, which is rare in romance books. And it's also a baseball romance, which I love sports romances, but it's about Gavin, and it says he's having trouble in his marriage, but he joins a secret romance book club made of Nashville's top alpha males to try and learn how to save his marriage from romance books. And like, that is just like such a fun concept. And I'm also just like very excited to have like a very male driven romance. Then I got a few ebooks and audiobooks from the library. I got Him by Serena Bowen, which is the first book in the Him series. This is a hockey romance, it's an LGBT romance, it's set in college, so it's also a new adult romance. And basically the two main guys play on different college hockey teams and they're about to face off in the national championship. And I just have to read you the opening line of the summary because I think it is so funny. It says, "They don't play for the same team, or do they?" I love it. I just think it's so funny. A lot of romance books have like very cheesy either opening lines in their summary or really cheesy like taglines on the cover. I'm a sucker for it, but I think this is my favorite opening summary line. Also, it has 4.44 stars on Goodreads. So this book better be good. I have high expectations and I'm so freaking excited to read this book. I'm pretty sure I've said that about a lot of books, but then I got The Night Circus, and I've heard that this book is like very beautifully written, like very like poetic, flowery, beautiful language, and so I purposely got it in audiobook form as opposed to book form because I feel like this would be a cool one to listen to. I actually really don't know much about this book at all, and I kind of want to keep it that way, so I'm not going to look up the summary, but I've heard so many good things about this book. I do know that it is fiction and also romance, so yeah, I'm excited, intrigued. I think it's just a mysterious circus that pops up in the middle of the night, and that's all I know. Then I got The Chase by Miss L. Kennedy, which is the first book in the Briar U series. I have almost finished the entire Off-Campus series, and this book / this whole series takes place in the same world as the Off-Campus series. It is a hockey romance, which like I said, I love sports romances. It's set in college, so again, a new adult romance. It says that the main character has a crush on this guy, and that guy is her brother's friend. So we've got brother's best friend trope, and also she is roommates with him, so that I feel like is going to be so messy and dramatic, and I'm here for it. Then I got the audiobook for Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan, and this is the first book in the Hoop series, which you guessed it, is a basketball romance series. I'm starting to realize maybe I just read the same kind of books over and over, aka sports romances. It takes place in the NBA. It also says it's a forbidden love romance. I'm not entirely sure what that means. Other than that, the description is kind of vague, and so I don't really want to do any more digging because I want to be surprised when I start reading it. So I don't have a lot to go off of whether this book is going to be good or not, but it sounds good and it has 4.25 stars on Goodreads, so that's good enough for me to want to read this book. I got 2 books that are very different from what I normally read. I want to start reading things that aren't just romances or dark academia or things you would generally find on Book Talk. I want to read some nonfiction, some classics, different things like that. So to start me off, I got The Alchemist, which is a classic, and also this cover is gorgeous. So is the back. And this is about a shepherd boy who travels from his homeland in Spain to the deserts of Egypt in search of treasure. So yeah, it sounds cool. Very like fantasy, adventure, like quest kind of genre. It's also a pretty tiny book. I think it's like 180 pages, and I have been in a tiny bit of a little reading slump lately, and so I feel like reading something completely different from what I've been reading and also a pretty quick, fast read will really help me out. Then I got Into Thin Air, which is a nonfiction book that is set during the most deadly season in the history of people climbing Mount Everest ever. I did see a documentary that pretty much follows exactly what this book follows, so I do know what's gonna happen, and it is so heartbreaking. It is so sad, but I'm very excited to read the book because I feel like that'll just cover way more detail than the documentary. And this book is literally written by the man himself who went up on the mountain and experienced that terrible day. And so yeah, I feel like it'll be very cool and extra heart-wrenching to read from the POV of someone who's actually there. Okay, then these next books, I got all of these in my last book shopping video, but I didn't really talk much about them in that video, so I also thought it would be nice to include them in this video. I've got Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, and this is a dark academia book. Oh my god, also this book is so thick. And this is the first book in the Alex Stern series, which I'm pretty sure is a trilogy. The setting is Yale, which is the perfect dark academia setting, and it is about Alex, who is the sole survivor of a very horrific, unsolved multi-homicide. So we've got dark academia, mystery, murder. Does it get much better than that? I don't know. You Deserve Each Other by Sarah Hoggle. I've been hearing a ton of booktubers reading and reviewing this book recently. It's another one where the couple is already together, they're engaged, but neither wants to be with each other anymore. They both want to break up. However, whoever ends the engagement has to pay for the whole wedding. So they're both just trying to annoy each other to get the other one to break up with them so they don't have to foot the wedding bill. And I just think that's such a fun concept. And of course, I'm sure they're gonna end up falling back in love together by the end. So I'm very excited about this one. 14 Ways to Die. This is the first book that I've ever completely impulse purchased solely based off of the cover and title. Like, I didn't read an ounce about it before buying it. But this book is about the Magpie Man, who is a serial killer who has already killed 13 victims. And the main character, Jess, her mom was murdered by the Magpie Man. She ends up going on a reality show to try and solve the murder of her mother and figure out who the Magpie Man is. This is a YA book, mystery book. I read 2 YA mysteries and I really loved them, so I'm excited to be on my YA mystery roll and read another. The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. Everyone has talked about this book so much, so I'm so excited to finally own it, and I think this is my first ever hardcover book, so that's very exciting. This book is about the Midnight Library, which enables people to see a different version of their life as if they had made different choices. And yeah, it just sounds like a very cool concept, very different, and I've again heard just so many people talk about it and love it. And also, I don't know if it's a good winter read, but the cover is giving me very much good winter read vibes, so I'll probably start this book very soon. These next 2 books I got for, I think, $2 each, which is incredible, and so I also just kind of impulse purchased these because they were $2. This cover is so freaking pretty. I love this blue shade. This is Lost in the Beehive by Michelle Youngstone, and this book is about a girl who grows up in the 60s and she's gay and she's sent to an institution to be cured. So I can only imagine that this book is going to be incredibly heartbreaking. Then I got Regrets Only by MJ Pullen, and this is about a girl who a freak accident happens and it basically kind of ruins her life, but then she realizes it might not be an accident and she starts looking at everyone in her life as potential suspects that caused this freak accident, which sounds like a very intriguing fiction book, but it is also a romance book, and I don't know how the romance plays into that plot, but I'm intrigued. And that is all of the books I got. I think that was like 22, 23 books, which is insane. All right, I'll see you guys next week with my next book video. Bye.